Welcome back, folks. We are doing the review as promised yesterday. We are reviewing the 1971 Don Siegel directed Dirty Harry. And I have a box set here. It came with a cool booklet. We'll flip to that. This is my best look right here. If I could personify this Clint Eastwood look of 1971, I'd do it. But professionalism will certainly not allow it. That being said, in my last review, I mistakenly said that John Milius, who had written the original screenplay for The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, directed this film. That is a big mistake. And if you go back to my old channel, where I had reviewed a couple of Don Siegel films, I had mentioned that I would one day review this movie because it is also directed by Don Siegel. And I think the movie that I reviewed that was directed by Siegel, starring Clint Eastwood, that kind of spurred this genre on was Coogan's Bluff. Not my favorite Eastwood movie, but this movie certainly fits the bill of a Clint Eastwood classic. That being said, it's an hour and 42-minute runtime, and it kind of loosely played off the real-life Zodiac killer. I believe that is a David Fincher film that directs the real-life situation. So Clint Eastwood plays San Francisco Inspector Police Officer Harry Callahan. They call him Dirty Harry because he'll do any dirty old job that it is required of him. Amazing 70s jazzy soundtrack by Lalo Schifrin. And the cinematography was done by Bruce Sutras, who did many films. He was the cinematographer for many Eastwood starring films. The film had a $4 million budget and was highly successful, grossing over $36 million at the box office. And in 2012, it was selected by Preservation from the Library of Congress as a culturally significant and aesthetically pleasing film. Excuse me. John Wayne was originally offered the role. Many other actors were attached to star. Wayne did not end up playing Eastwood, as we know. But if you go back to my old channel, he played a similar cop in a movie called McHugh. Not great, but it's an okay film. I think I was still in the fours on that. That being said, the movie was going to be originally starring Frank Sinatra, and they had written a whole script for him. He fit the bill of a guy in his 40s, even though he was in his 50s at the time. Something happened. He ended up leaving the picture. They offered it to Burt Lancaster. He said it was too violent. A lot of actors agreed that it was too violent. George C. Scott said he was offered the role, also said that it was too violent for him. And then we end up getting Eastwood into there, and like I mentioned earlier, John Milius had written one of the screenplays. His screenplay was not chosen. There was so many rewrites and so many different scripts written for this movie, and all of them were laid out for Eastwood, but ultimately he picked the original screenplay story written by husband and wife writing team Harry and Rita Fink. The main protagonist is a character called Scorpio. He was chosen by Eastwood after he had seen him in a stage play. He was a theatrical stage production, a relatively unknown guy by the name of Andy Robinson, who fit the bill of a psychologically imbalanced hippie, per Wikipedia. His role was so convincing that he had to later on put his telephone number in the yellow pages or the white pages on unlisted because he was getting death threats and hate phone calls. Interestingly enough, the real-life character, the real-life guy playing the psycho killer, didn't like guns and was a pacifist. So, this particular film, it's just so beautifully shot. I did not watch this on DVD. As you see, I have the DVD box set. I'm sorry, I didn't watch it on VHS. This movie, if you're going to watch it, it does justice to watch a remastered version because of it's just awesome in the widescreen, filmed in Technicolor and Panavision. It is just beautifully filmed. They said they were kind of going for the style of cinematography from many of Eastwood's spaghetti westerns that he starred in. The colors just pop against some of the gray skies. There's just these bright color themes sometimes. A yellow school bus amidst a gray San Francisco sky, so on and so forth. I just loved it. I love the whole aesthetics of the early 70s, the way men dressed, the way they did their sideburns, their hair, everything. So And it kind of ties me back in. Oh, which also is another thing I wanted to mention. Steve McQueen had also been offered the role, but he said he would never do another cop movie after Bullet, which is another one of my favorite films growing up. I remember my grandfather had a recorded off of TV version of Bullet, and I remember him watching Dirty Harry with my older cousins and making me leave the room because of it is ultra violent for the time. Lots of gratuitous nudity that to me it's like personifying the 70s. The blood is desaturated. It's not red enough to look realistic, but still. And then obviously there's the iconic Smith & Wesson Model 29 44 Magnum, the Dirty Harry gun, 6-shooter revolver. The beautiful blued finish. I'm going off on rants here. I'm just trying to fill up the time and make this review somewhat decent. It's just an iconic film, even if it's not necessarily the highest scoring film that I have ever seen. I believe Rotten Tomatoes rated this film in the 89% range. I think I might have written that down wrong. I want to say they said 80%. My mistake. I'm not going to go back and look because we're rolling tape here. 7.7 out of 10 IMDb, and I am going to go a rare 5 out of 5 on this picture. Will I review all the other films from this box set? I don't know. There's at least 4 of them. What do we have in here? I've never even really gone through this box set. Ooh, we got some goodies here. So this particular box set, I got at a thrift shop probably 10 years ago. The Ultimate Collector's Edition. What's ultimate about it? Well, as we saw, it came with this little book that kind of analyzes each movie. What do we have here? Ooh, a wall poster, folks. The Dirty Harry collection. Very cool. A full-sized poster suitable for framing in any dinner office. So we'll put that back in the box. What else? Now we're just really wasting everybody's time. The Out of the Shadows, an intriguing look at Clint Eastwood, an American original. Hollywood careers are full of make-or-break moments. For Clint Eastwood, one such moment came when the Powers agreed to let him make his directorial debut in a film called Play Misty for Me. That being said, in one of the opening scenes, you see Clint Eastwood walk under a movie theater kiosk sign, and Play Misty for Me is one of the featured films. So there's a cool Easter egg. So here is just the story of Clint Eastwood's career and a bonus DVD that was tucked into this little box. A personal message from Clint Eastwood. What else? A cool little wax paper envelope with more epinephrine telegrams related to Dirty Harry from the Warner Brothers studio. Oh, here's the thing that I was mentioning. Frank Sinatra has withdrawn his role for the movie. Replica of the correspondence. The Dirty Harry wardrobe budget. $270.38. Not a bad value. More telegram and corporate letters from Warner Brothers. The screenplay has been confirmed. Dirty Harry. More Warner Brothers correspondence replicas. This one has a 2-page letter from Malpaso Productions. And we got some lobby cards here. Here's just a DVD collection. Original Dirty Harry lobby card. Magnum Force is the second one. The Enforcer. Sudden Impact. And Deadpool. And we got them all here in this box set, folks. So if I get enough comments and people want to see me review the other films, let me know and I'll go through the whole box set. And I'm going to go in fresh without doing any other research. So again, I think that the review from Rotten Tomatoes was more along the lines of an 80% range. But I think it is truly a 5 out of 5, and I think that the fact that it's preserved in the National Archives, they would agree with me as well. Until next time, folks, we will see you then. Thanks for tuning in.